Hey everyone, so this is going to be a short critique of conservatism. I'll caveat it first by saying that I hold a plethora of what could be considered conservative views, especially on the fiscal side if you want to make that distinction. And I'll specify that I mean conservatism as Edmund Burke described it, and not reactionary conservatism, not neoconservatism, not conservatism as progressive neo-Marxists describe it. And I'll be looking at two assumptions, essentially foundations, that are closely intertwined but not exactly the same, and critique them quickly, hopefully, again. So the first one is a reverence for tradition, and the second is a respect for long-standing institutions. And you can see they're not exactly the same. One is dealing with traditions, and one is dealing with institutions, and these aren't necessarily the same thing. But my argument for why it's unnecessary to do this is very similar for both, so I'll be jumping back and forth a bit. But essentially, when we look at institutions, you think of slavery was an institution, and it was highly entrenched, and it's existed essentially as long as the human race has existed. And it highly influenced all of our societies, deeply entrenched, huge economic boost, long-standing tradition, powerful institution. This could, by some ideal, be an argument for slavery as an institution from a conservative, say 300 years ago in Europe. And when you look at traditions, you can look at something like monarchy, which is at the same time an institution as well, but again, these are both very intertwined, and it's difficult to distinguish sometimes. But you look at monarchy, and it came out of feudalism, and it was sort of necessary after Rome collapsed, and it was the only way that these, you could call them barbaric, but Germanic tribes of northern, eastern, western Europe had. It was the only way they knew how to govern themselves in a place where they didn't have too many big cities, and they had long winters, and they had sparse food supplies, etc. Yet, I don't think that either of these are a good argument on their own. You should be able to take each institution and each tradition that makes up your society, culture, civilization, whatever you want to call it, and critique them equally, regardless of how long they've been around, regardless of how deeply entrenched they are in our society, even regardless of the ancillary or supposed benefits that they have. We should be able to critique everything equally. Open marketplace of ideas, that type of thing. Of course, tradition is important, and long-standing institutions, things that have worked for hundreds of years. Most things don't work in human society, so the things that do work we should pay more attention to and have slightly more reverence. But these shouldn't be arguments in themselves to keep an institution around. You should be able to construct an argument for that institution or tradition without referring to the length of time it's been around or how deeply entrenched it is. So there's my somewhat too long, certainly convoluted critique of two small aspects of a specific type, although it is the original type of conservatism. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, share the video, subscribe for more, leave a comment, let me know what you want to see next, and thanks again. Until next time.